My guy's name is Miles Can't Run, for those of you who care. Hello, I am Shaggy. I am Phil Alitea. And I'm thinking about how he told me he's not really here for the religious stuff, but he is one of my most active viewers. He has watched a lot of my videos, and I do talk about religious stuff a lot. And he said he's interested in the etymological stuff that I do, and he's interested in, I'm guessing, the philosophical approach to Christianity and to leading a good life. And I think that where people like him, people like, see, the thing I think a lot of people don't realize, and I think a lot of people don't think about, is that I used to be like that. I used to be a devout atheist. I grew up in a home where my mother hated God. So my example was of atheism. So I think the mistake that we're making is thinking that religion is something you have to do. I think the mistake we're making is believing that religion is something that you have to do. Because there's this cultural pressure from Christianity that it is something you're going to do. Religion is something you're going to do because of Pascal and his wager. Pascal was very clear that life is a gamble, and that you either put your chips on the right pile of the roulette wheel or you don't, effectively, right? And so we have this idea in the West that everyone is going to be religious eventually. And so there's this pathologization, especially in Europe, especially in England, that you have to pick the right religion. You do, though. You do have to pick the right religion. You have to pick the right cult. You have to pick the right group to identify with. This is why identity politics is such a big deal, because you really don't have a choice. You are going to get involved in a group at some point in your life. And so the way religion is taught to us today, and the way religion is given to us, presented to us, is as children. We're told that there's all this pressure and you have to make a choice. And so we go, well, we obviously don't. There are plenty of people. Look at Anton LaVey. There are plenty of people who stand as proofs against the religious ideas, proofs against everything Jesus said. And so you're left with this idea that you can choose, and that's called free will, and you can choose. You are allowed to choose. What Jesus is saying isn't for you. He's not saying that you're not going to make it to hell or you're not going to make it to heaven. Jesus is talking about hell on earth. He's talking about lived experiences that suck, because for poor people, the lived experience sucks. If you're bourgeoisie, if you're middle class, if you're above the poverty line, even below the poverty line, you can look at your life and go, well, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. The things that I suffer for worldly reasons. I suffer for human reasons. I don't suffer because of God. You have to put yourself into a religious position in order to even begin to interpret that God is working in your life at all. And that's not required of anyone, frankly. It's not required of everyone. God calls on us when he calls on us in his way, and he does it in such a way that it's unique to us. And so my guy Lord Zeal and my guy Miles Can't Run, they're right to say that you can choose. My philosophy is called conditionalism. I agree. You can absolutely and you should absolutely engage in your cultural covenant and your personal covenants and your social covenant and in your religious covenants with conditions. You absolutely should have terms and conditions for your good behavior. Why? If you don't, you're just going to give away your goodness and get nothing in return. I'm not asking you to be like me. Don't be like me. Smile at strangers. Engage in a friendly and compassionate way and with the universe. But you don't also have to turn the other cheek. You don't also have to give evil a chance in your life. If you want to be religious and you want a reputation as a capital G good person, a person following the philosophical good life, if what you want is for people to look at you and go, I want what he's got, and what he's got is peace and stability on the inside, so his emotions are the same under all circumstances, and what you want is when you have emotional outbursts for people to not say, well, he's just ranting or he's just an asshole. If you want to be taken seriously, Jesus cannot be improved upon. It's really that simple. Why do I know that? Because I've tried. I've spent my whole life arguing with Jesus and arguing with people who insist on the things that Jesus said. And what I've found is that people interpret Jesus wrong. But if you read the words, if you pray and you engage and you follow the path, it works and it can't be improved upon. Why? Because it was the end of a very real and very determined quest to find that answer. Just like when we split the atom, we learned, oh yeah, nuclear fission is real. Jesus's life and his sacrifice and his quotations and his good news were proved to work by century after century after century after century of people who took on the voluntary and very difficult calling to represent for their community and for the people that engage with them what it looks like to be better. And that's okay. It's okay if you don't meet it, because you don't have to meet it. Presenting religion as a challenge, as a keeping up with the Joneses style, social, or cultural race is elitism. You don't have to participate in that. In fact, that's what I notice my guys Miles, Can't Run, and Lord Zeal rejecting, is the classism and the elitism of Christianity, and I applaud them with both hands for that. Great job. Because yes, it doesn't have to be a competition. The earliest Christians, they looked to an old Latin proverb of a mother whose wealth was in the health and the intelligence and the justice of her sons and her daughters. And Christianity said that the kingdom of God is a kingdom where parents are judged by the quality of their children, and children want to be good. They want to grow up to be good people, members of a thriving society. We don't have that. What we have today is people who want to grow up to be rich and famous. And you can't be those things. You can't be those things and a good person. Why do you think I'm struggling so hard to get followers? You look at me and yeah, I'm raising the bar, and you think it's a challenge. No. You think it's about me trying to prove that I'm better than you. No. It's about me trying to show you that this hurdle, that this the high jump actually isn't that difficult to clear. The standard that Jesus set isn't that high. You don't have to martyr yourself. In fact, he was very clear that he didn't want people martyring themselves for him. And so what I'm trying to say is that these guys are right, but they're wrong. They're right. You can choose when and when not to forgive, but they're wrong to believe that you can reach enlightenment and you can reach a community where you are beloved if you behave that way. Thank you for listening. I am the Shaggy. I'm not. I am Shaggy. I am Phil Alitea, and this has been yet another attempt to explain to you why forgiveness is good and why you don't have to do it.